Week 16 is in the books. And just like that, we are 1 week away from the fantasy football season being done, 2 weeks away from the NFL season, regular season being done, and then it's playoff time. Amazing how fast things go. Just feels like yesterday we were talking about, the season and excited for certain players, and it's basically over. And it's a long off season, man. Football has a long, I know we're still a couple months away, but still football is a very long off season compared to the other sports. So, um, but we're here, we're live, and hopefully helping you win your fantasy championships. Hopefully you've made it in some of them. It was kind of an interesting week. We had some huge performances. Puka, Stafford. Tonight we had some big ones in McCaffrey. Had a pretty big game. Trevor Lawrence went off. James Cook had a big game, but we also had some big disappointments, man. Jalen Warren had a huge game. Ashton Genty went off, but we also had some big disappointments. Lamar Jackson leaving the game early probably killed a lot of teams if you started them. Travion Henderson getting knocked out of that game pretty early. Sucked. Trey McBride was somehow terrible. I don't understand. That kind of came out of nowhere. Felt like, the safest, best player in fantasy football. And, he sucked. 4 for 27. Did have 8 targets, but still sucked in the fantasy box score. So it's what happens, man. Like fantasy football is, you can prepare for it as much as you want. And, you take the right steps in the process and everything, but you still get times like these, weeks like these, where you just can't predict stuff. You really can't predict stuff, But yeah, welcome. Your Pittman got your 2.5 points. Bo Sox, you got your 2.5 points. So congrats there. You're moving on to the Toilet Bowl finals, right? Yeah, you're moving on to the Toilet Bowl finals here. So you are in contention to win that extra second round comp pick there. He didn't get much more than that. You needed what, 2.5? Looks like he got you about 5 or 6 or something. So he just barely got it to you, but that's all you needed. So congrats there. Congrats on that. So yeah, just kind of an interesting week. It's going to be an interesting week 17. And we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens. Foe, McCollum, sure, I'll be your friend. Yeah, congrats there, man. Congrats there. Yeah, just kind of catching up on everything here. Like who else had some big games here? Trying to check some of the teams and see how they all worked out here. Derrick Henry had a good game, which is good to see. Justin Jefferson, at least had a solid game there. Hi, Brittany. Welcome. Your first time on the stream. Man, I'm looking at the wrong league. I'm looking at one league where just like the scoring is kind of wild there. So, the Zach Charbonnet on Thursday night. I wonder how many fantasy games like that got decided. Like just Charbonnet randomly picking up a ball in the end zone. I don't know how many people started Zach Charbonnet, maybe in deeper leagues and stuff like that. But Kenneth Walker had a good game. Kind of an interesting week. Like I said, you had some huge performances, but then you had some pretty big busts. Jackson Dart was horrendous, so that sucked. If you started Jackson Dart, which I did in a league, so that was pretty bad there. So updating the Tankathon standings. Currently, we have the New York Giants as the holding the number one pick here. in the NFL draft with the Raiders at the number 2 pick. Both are 2-13, but the Giants have the tiebreaker because they've had an easier schedule. So technically, they've sucked just a little bit more than the Raiders, surprisingly. Fun fact, though, those two teams play each other next week, so it's going to be a pick or a game for the number 1 pick there. Jeff says, thank you, CMC. I came tonight down 18 points. He had the 49ers defense, and he had CMC. Came through for me. Yeah, that's pretty nice. How much did you win by, Jeff? Because I'm curious if that – I know CMC had a pretty big game, but I'm curious if that 49ers interception return touchdown made it pretty close there. You were down 18. And what did CMC have roughly? 25, 30 points in PPR? 2 points he won by. Wow. So that interception touchdown would have been making you shit yourself a little bit there, I imagine. How'd you do this week? How many of your teams made it?
6 out of 7.
Oh, 6-7.
Don't say
it. Well, but 2 of those you were already in it, right? Because that's the 2 home leagues.
Yeah. So 10 total leagues, 9 in the playoffs, lost 3 so far over these 2 weeks.
Nice.
The one I lost this week was actually it's a best ball league. I think I texted you yesterday and saying Trevor Lawrence kicked me out of one league last week, basically single-handedly, and Lawrence did it again. It was actually him and Jalen Warren, either one of those guys. If they didn't go off the way they did, I would have won. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, some really I'm okay. It's just a beer, Nishad. Don't worry.
Not for me.
It's yeah, it was a weird week. Some huge performances, some terrible performances. So I guess that's every week here. I was down 41.5 going into the game. Hendy and Jags receivers let me down. Yeah, Henderson leaving sucked for sure. Purdy got me 1.9 above what I needed. I benched Stafford for him. Wow. We felt like shit all week benching Stafford for Purdy until I assume Purdy had a better game.
He did. And actually, if he started Stafford, he would have lost most likely. Because, this is a 6-point per passing touchdown league I'm looking at. And the difference in points is right around 3. So,
yeah, that's funny because the whole basically since Thursday night you were feeling like shit, benching Stafford, and then lo and behold, it's the reason why you won, or one of the reasons. By the way, not all the Jags receivers let you down. Parker Washington was a beast. He went off. So I'm assuming you're talking Jacoby Myers and BTJ, one of those or both those guys. Yeah, that's insane that Purdy was able to outscore 5. What was it? 5 touchdowns for Purdy?
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, there were some big comebacks for sure. What was Brando down in Poseidon? He was down a pretty decent amount where he had a very, the projection on Sleeper was under 5%, I feel like, or maybe it was 10% for Brando.
Yeah, it could have been. That CMC Purdy stack really came through for him this week.
Well, and yeah, so CMC and Purdy gave him 70, about 75 roughly, 74, 75, and then Juwan Jennings another 18 on top of that. So Brandon, our family, was up 90 plus points going into it. So he had to feel pretty good. Even with 3 guys going, if you're up 90, 95 points, you still feel pretty good. But
Yeah, it's always a wild card when McCaffrey's one of those guys, right?
It is, but also you feel like, all right, either McCaffrey or Purdy, not both of them, maybe putting up, 40, 30, 30 and 40 points. Like you kind of think it's going to be either or, but I mean, it's always a possibility with McCaffrey. He is a monster. I was wondering if he was going to get to 1,000 and 1,000 again, rushing and receiving, but don't think so. Looks like he's going to need like 160 receiving yards over the last 2 weeks to
Let's
get
do
there.
it all next week, though.
Yeah. Oh, next week. Yeah. Let's get it. Nice. I'm glad you won there. That's awesome. That like, I hate. I don't know. Maybe it's just like you only remember the negative ones, but I feel like whenever I go into these like Monday night games needing a certain amount of points, it like never works out. I would have gone into this game thinking like I'm not going to win, so I would even been like worrying about it. But until like maybe halftime. Bo Soxer Smith.
Bo Soxer.
He says he's in the finals for Zeus Toilet Bowl. He got the Pittman. The Pittman got him 2.5 points, but Devin Neal got hurt in the second quarter last week and lost by 4. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks.
Look at the bright side. You don't have to start him next week.
Yeah. It always sucks when people go out in the middle of the games. Like that's like early in the game, It's definitely the worst thing. So what's up? Not sure what that means. BTJ and Myers over Marvin Harrison Jr. Is Stafford or Purdy for next week? Let me pull up next week here. Week 17, we have made it.
Stafford gets Atlanta.
Okay.
I like that already. And Purdy gets Chicago. Jeez.
In San Francisco and I guess it doesn't matter for Atlanta and LA. It's gonna
be in San Francisco could be a problem because we have some serious storms coming in.
Yeah, true.
Like they start tomorrow here in California and they're hitting the north pretty good.
That's in a week though.
Yeah, I was like, well, what time is that game? It's gotta be a Sunday game. It's the Pineapple Express, man. Like that shit sticks around.
Is it a Sunday game?
Sorry, I kind of gave up on that because I was like, oh, it's Monday night, so it's got to be. Yeah, it's the Sunday night game. So let's see, San Fran.
I thought it sounded like. I mean, that it won't be. It'll be done raining by then.
It does look like it as of right now, but I guess maybe keep your eye on the weather throughout the week. Looks like it's going to be done by Friday. I was hoping to have an easier answer than this.
I'm probably still going to go Stafford.
Yeah, I think so. I wonder what's the chance that Devontae Adams is going to play. Oh, Sean McVay did say, that's right, like that he's unlikely to play in week 16. He already said that. Probably after the game.
Good. I need another 70 bomb from Puka in Marty's league. Yeah, I'm probably still going to lean Stafford as of right now. I think it's just a little bit more consistent with Stafford. He's probably good chance he's going to want to lock up the MVP. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's really worried too much about that, but I'm sure it'd be nice to get something like that. I don't even know if he's had an MVP vote, to be honest. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't show. Actually, in 2023, he was the MVP eighth place in the MVP voting. That's the only time he had MVP votes. So, that could play into it a little bit. And, a game like this from Purdy, is a little bit of an outlier. I mean, he's been good, but he can also San Francisco can put up a lot of points and Purdy has 1 touchdown, I guess that can happen for anyone, but I just feel like it's a little bit safer with Stafford. So,
Yeah.
Why didn't you take the trade? Damn it!
It's this is Blackfeet Dan.
Yeah.
So I sent out offers to Dan and Sealy, I think, for Chase Brown and ETN. I offered them each a first, expecting a counter, and they both did counter. And honestly, I was kind of like, I wasn't sure how the beginning of the week was going to go. So that was part of it. I was projected to lose to Dad, but it was close enough. And I was like, do I want to trade my first? And it was like it was basically the draft capital of ETN versus Chase Brown kind of like made me think like, maybe ETN has a little bit of a more of a chance at a second contract, maybe even with the Jags. Obviously that hasn't happened yet. Like they didn't extend him or anything, but the 5th round draft capital for Chase Brown, even though he's about a year younger, I was just kind of like, I've seen it a little more from ETN, I think. And like the counters were very similar. But ETN was a little cheaper with a 28 third thrown in instead of a 26 third. So you didn't do anything wrong. And honestly, like it looks like Brown would have been the better play this week. Luckily, I moved on anyways. So nothing personal. I just kind of took what I thought was like maybe the slightly better offer.
It's crazy how much Brown has turned his season around.
Yeah. I was actually kind of surprised how much that did happen. Like all they needed was like slightly competent like quarterback play, basically.
Yeah.
And then Chase Brown was like right back to where he was. And part of it was like also just looking at the matchup for this week, I was a little bit more worried about ETN. So that's kind of why I sent out that second offer for Brown. And it would have been the move, like I said, like for this week. And like he has a better game for next week too, I think.
Cardinals for Brown.
Yeah. Who does ETN got?
Colts, I believe.
Yeah, he's got Indy. So yeah, maybe pretty similar. But yeah, I don't know. Just for whatever reason, I would kind of part of it was also I kind of wanted to see like how half of the morning games played out, and Brown was an early morning game and ETN was later, so I could still like pivot if I thought it was really going to help me.
Yeah.
All of those things. Sorry, Dan, but maybe I'll send you another offer for Chase Brown here so I can seal the deal.
Dan is pissed. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I think both are obviously similar players. So
literally RB like 11 and 12 on the season in that league too. So
assuming Henderson doesn't play next week, looks like gonna have to throw Marks in there. Excited for the Broncos D. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have anyone better than Marks, I guess. So hopefully Marks plays for you. Broncos D against the Chiefs. That Christmas Day schedule looks horrendous.
It could be a little nerve-wracking starting running backs in Houston. Also, like they seem to be. Obviously, they use Jawar Jordan a bunch and like with decent enough results this week. Not that he was like a huge part of like what they were doing, but you got Chubb healthy too, so it could be a real split backfield even with Marks. Like especially because they're making that strong playoff push and they need to keep who they might consider their best running back in Marks healthy for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So scary start, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. I was just looking at the Christmas Day schedule. So we have Josh Johnson maybe starting for the Commanders. Max Brosmer for the Vikings and Chris Oladokun.
Is that the Chiefs guy?
Yeah, is potentially or I think it's starting for the Chiefs. Like that is terrible. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's really, really bad. But yeah, Broncos D is obviously gonna be the number one defense to play. So
Kelsey
What's
or
up?
Ferguson next week.
I don't know. Probably Ferguson. I don't know. Maybe I go Kelsey still.
Yeah, I mean Ferguson hasn't been playing as well either, but yeah, I'm probably gonna start Ferguson.
Yeah, I started Dart in a league as well. Who had more passing yards? Remember when we talked about this a couple weeks ago when Kendall Hinton came in for the Broncos, the wide receiver on their practice squad, and played quarterback during COVID because like all the Broncos quarterbacks got COVID in the same week. Who had more passing yards, Kendall Hinton in that game or Jackson Dart, first round pick, rookie quarterback in yesterday's game?
I'm going to say Dart.
It was Dart, yeah. But the fact that it's even a question, I think it was like 33 yards to like 15 or something. Jackson Dart had 33 yards passing.
Who had more yards last week, Jackson Dart or Taysom Hill?
Oh, Taysom Hill, right?
Yeah. On
Pretty
one
sure
pass
Taysom
attempt,
Hill did. Yeah.
One pass attempt for 38 yards and a touchdown.
He was like the first player in like the Super Bowl era to have 1,000 rushing, receiving, and passing yards. So,
Bo Soxer, who else are you thinking about starting over Dart? You know, because like we were kind of I was definitely like really out on Dart given the Minnesota matchup. I know Mike, you were a little like slightly more encouraged, but you definitely weren't like really wanting to start him.
I mean, I benched him in Poseidon. I had to start him in the league because I lost Daniels and Mahomes.
I just remember him being like a big discussion point this last week because it's like, oh, he might be able to score and like plus what he can do on the ground and stuff. It's like, so I mean, next week he gets Las Vegas. Like, I'm kind of curious, like Dart or who next week because I think like this isn't who he is. You know, it was just a really tough defense and just a bad showing.
May, Caleb, and Love. Yeah, I mean, I'd be starting those guys over.
Yeah. Well, Love might not play, but yeah, it's easy. May or Caleb, most likely. I mean, let's see. Yeah, Drake May gets the Jets. Caleb got something juicy. He gets San Fran. So yeah, I'd probably just go right back to Drake May.
Yeah. First, he had his first game for over 300 passing yards, by the way.
Yeah, crushed it.
Yeah, 380. 380. Let's talk about Magic the Gathering. I'd like to. I never really played, but it was always interested me.
Yeah, something about tapping for mana or some shit. I don't know. I remember having the cards when I was a kid just because I liked the art. And I would play against our older brother, and I'm pretty sure he was cheating the entire time. So disintegration for 10 points of damage, something.
Feels like all those like cards, like when you're kids, you just like collect like Pokemon. I never really played like the actual Pokemon card game, maybe like once or twice. I think same with like Yu-Gi-Oh as well. I think I played that a little bit more, but yeah, you just kind of like collect them just to have them. Oh, and he was in Vegas. You ruined his Vegas trip. Way to go. You ruined
Sorry,
his-
buddy. Hopefully you won there.
Yeah.
Again, the offer, like the counter was like spot on. Like if I didn't get the other one, I definitely would have taken it.
Choose one. So it's the Super Bowl week. Choose one running back, half PPR. Ooh, I think it's Corum.
Shit.
Yeah. I mean,
What's Minnesota doing against running backs? That's who Detroit has, because obviously they're not letting anything up on the ground. I know Javonte at least had a touchdown against them 2 weeks ago. While I look
Minnesota is middle of the pack for this season and middle of the pack for like the last month. So
Rams are playing Atlanta.
Falcons are they've been good the last month against running backs.
Damn. Yeah, I know. Tyler was actually asking me this at work today, and I was like, get on the podcast and ask Mike, because I don't know how the hell to pick between these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I just like Montgomery's tough to trust right now. I mean, damn, like they didn't even give Gibbs. I don't know what the game plan was yesterday. It's like, yeah, let's not hand Jahmyr Gibbs the ball or Montgomery. Like, look at Montgomery's like carries. He hasn't had double-digit carries since November 9th. And he doesn't really catch the ball. So I think I'm out on Montgomery. Charbonnet, do they move to Walker now that they saw what Walker was capable of? Probably not, because they're stubborn. I think it's Corum for me. I just trust the best offense, and he's kind of the 1B, for the Rams.
Charbonnet and Montgomery, either one of them, they need a touchdown, or else you're really sad, right? And even if you get that touchdown, you're not necessarily like super stoked. Like weeks 12 and 13 for Charbonnet, he did get the touchdown, no catches though. So
I think they're all
right around like 10 PPR points in each game. What's that?
I said I think they're all kind of like that, to be honest. Like even Corum, I know Corum had 128 yards in one game, but it was like one of them was like a 50-yarder, big run.
Yeah, but so I mean the Rams are the best offense that we're talking about, right? So
and Corum has
upside.
Yeah, he has 5 touchdowns in the last 4 weeks.
So we'll look at the waiver wire tomorrow, Tyler, and see if we can find a better option. Are you starting Jawar Jordan if Marks misses over Blake Corum? They get the Chargers.
Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I might.
Can we trust Estime?
I mean,
Estime gets Tennessee.
Nah.
All right. I'm trying to think of.
I will say this about Estime, though. I know he didn't have a good game and he didn't have many carries, but Taysom Hill had a shit ton of carries, and they said it was Taysom Hill's last game in New Orleans, and they're really trying to make it a thing. So that could, not be.
Are they benching him?
No, I just don't think the Saints. I think they're on the road the last 2 games, and I think Taysom Hill's
in actual New Orleans. Okay.
Yeah, I think they're on the road the next 2 weeks. So they wanted to send him out with a bang, which is why he had a big game. But also, it's it feels like their offense is better whenever Taysom Hill's heavily involved, and maybe they just stick with that. What about Raheem Rocket Sanders for the Browns? If Quinshon Judkins is out, Samson out, I don't know. I think I still go Corum over all those guys.
Corum over like super big question marks like that. Who else got hurt? I'm trying to think of who's on the waiver wire.
There's not much. I mean, Emmanuel Wilson, if he's out there, just in case Jacobs doesn't play. Michael Carter, potentially, if he's out there, I would start those two guys. Chris Rodriguez could be out there. I would probably start Rodriguez. And then, yeah, that's about it. I mean, Samaje Perine, if you're desperate. But probably not. I would eat a spoonful of mustard for a $15 super chat. I have to see if I have mustard though before you send that. Wait, let me check.
Oh, it's just like,
let me see.
So we're turning into like shitty Fear Factor. Dude, I hate mustard so much. I don't even think I'd do it.
I love mustard, so I have yellow mustard in the fridge. $15 super chat. I'll eat a spoonful. Also, you never said how big
love mustard.
What?
Did you say you love mustard?
I do, yeah. Like I lick the spoon or knife or whatever of the mustard. So, what did I say? 15 or 20?
You said 15.
15. I'll do it, and I'll do a legit spoon. So,
he likes it though. I would make him do it for less. Unknown user 1070. Bo Soxer, I know this is like back to the other one. So yeah, it's May and Caleb, right? Like super flex. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just saying like May was like his one, the way he phrased it. But yeah, it's gotta be May and Caleb.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. Thanks for your help starting Schultz in New Orleans defense. Along with McCaffrey, yeah, I'm glad we told you to start McCaffrey. No, got you to the championship. Nice. Who are we deciding between, Joe? I remember talking about Schultz.
I think we said Schultz in full PPR. I don't remember if this was Joe specifically, but it was Schultz
and Waller,
I think. And if it was full PPR, like I don't remember exactly, but I remember recommending him in full PPR because of the just for like the safer floor.
They had similar games, except Schultz got the touchdown.
Schultz or Ferguson. Okay.
Schultz or Ferguson. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nice. So, and then New Orleans D.
Yeah. I played them this week too. Had to. You know what's funny is we had someone ask us about that as a stash, like, I don't know, 4 weeks ago or something, talking about stashing New Orleans D for playoffs. I remember, and that was like the first time, like someone was asking us about stashing Ds for playoff time, and it was pretty far out, so it might even been further back than 4 weeks. Maybe 5 or 6 weeks even, and they brought up the New Orleans defense, and we're like, oh, Carolina, Jets, Tennessee, like that could be really good.
Joe says it might have been him. Did you see on the broadcast when Rivers threw his first touchdown? It was like an offsides penalty, and they said it was his first no play. I forget how they worded it. It was his first touchdown where it was like a offside
free play.
Yeah, on a free play, like in his career. I was like, what? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That kind of blew my mind.
Hold on 1 sec. I have to go yell at my daughter for stomping around up here.
Yeah, always. I'll remove you from now. Went into tonight with 6 points with CMC and the kicker Pinheiro. Opponent had Kittle until Kittle tested his egg. Yeah, CMC, man. CMC. We were 100% like we were on the CMC. Like I'm fine. I think we were like I'm fine if you want to take him 102 or something. You know, like that's how high we were on CMC this year. I know people were going to be afraid. Oh, he got hurt. He screwed me over last year, and it's like yeah, but if he plays he's probably going to be a top 5 player in fantasy. Like, and that's exactly how it played out, So, yeah, I mean, I don't know where he was falling in drafts for the most part. I know in our redraft home league, I was going to take him, but I kind of, I changed it up and I took Gibbs. Also, like a sentimental thing to Dad as well. I took Gibbs for that reason, and but I would have taken CMC. I think I had the 102.
I think early mocks had him just outside of like the first round.
Yeah, and, like very early, right?
Yeah, still very early. Like he was basically back half of first round, like early second. And I remember talking to Dad about that actually, like where it's like, dude, CMC at the 110 that's a smash, like you got to take him there because, like you said, if he plays, he's like the best player in fantasy essentially. So
yeah,
like luckily he stayed healthy. I know we kept talking about it like early on. We're like, dude, can he do this? Like all season. Like, I mean, just look at those first 4 games, like just the targets. He had over 40 targets in the first 4 games.
And how many catches do you have tonight? 6?
6, yeah.
He's at 92 catches.
At 86.
92 catches on the year.
Oh, so it didn't even include him. Oh, yeah. It's not colored in yet. Yeah, 92 catches, man. Same. Like, you're happy if your receiver gets 100 catches.
Yeah, I mean, he could have a 100 catch, 1,000-yard, 5 touchdown season. Like that's like Chris Olave over the last, not this year, but over the first 3 years of his career, or whatever.
Plus like, the rushing of, I'm trying to think of who's like kind of like that 1,000-yard rusher.
Yeah.
Javonte, oh, he's over.
Javante's over, yeah. Genty, is he there? He might be getting close.
Yeah, he really came through this week, obviously.
Yeah, finally. Genty's at 828.
Of course, he does it against like one of the best defenses in the NFL.
Dude, that didn't make sense. It's like Stroud had like 80 yards passing like halfway through the third quarter or something. It's like, what the hell? But yeah, congrats, Tron, to the championship. Let's go. I think I'm in 4 championships. Our 2 homes, and then Marty's, and then another one. My QB Horde League team made it, where I QB hoarded and got a bunch of picks year 1, and then made it year 2. Thank you, Derrick Henry and Bryce Young. I had to start, and Drake May and Genty. May and Caleb probably. Yeah, I agree with that. Too scared to play Dart. I guess I'll roll Bo Nix versus the Chiefs. Yeah, I think you have to there. Shuck is available on waivers too, and I have Olave. Shuck's interesting. My only worry about Bo Nix is like how much are they going to actually have to do? That's like my only fear about him. But Shuck, he's been playing well, man. He's number 2 now in offensive rookie of the year odds. Tyler Shuck.
Oh, good for him.
Behind Tetaroa. I think it's minus like something for Tetaroa, and then it's like plus 250 for Shuck. So
yeah, that's kind of crazy that he is playing as well as he is too, because he's got Olave and Juwan Johnson. And that's it. Like they got rid of Shaheed, or they traded him. Kamara hasn't played for 5 weeks or something.
Yeah.
But anyways, just
he
crazy.
He could sneak it out. I was looking at his numbers from when he took over as the starter. His 17-game pace is 4,000 passing yards, 17 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns, so like 22 total touchdowns. And then they're 4-3 since he took over as the starter. If they win out the next 2 games, they'll be 6-3 since he took over. Like, interesting.
They can end up better than the Bucks since they can't win a fucking game against any divisional rival. Like, yeah, man, what a fall from grace that is.
So Tyler says there's Estime, Gerard Jordan, Chubb, and Pacheco. Pacheco caught a lot of passes, and I think a lot of it was, well, yeah, it was what's his face, Aludicon or whatever. You say his name. I don't want to disrespect him. So would it be Pacheco? Would you actually do Pacheco? Oh man, I don't think you would.
I don't know. Kareem Hunt really let me down. He didn't kill me in one league, but I had to start him decently deep because the 12 teams start 12, and it was just like, dude, what the hell happened there? 24% of the snaps, 3 carries for 2 yards. I don't know. I don't think I'm ready to trust Pacheco.
Who would you
start him over Corum? I mean, Corum's got touchdown upside at least. What does Pacheco have with Mr. Chris?
Well, catches. He had 7 targets, 6 catches. I'm pretty sure that was all from because Minshew left very early in that game.
Yeah, he only played 30% of the snaps.
Yeah, so Minshew threw Pacheco. Okay, two of his passes. Incomplete. Yeah, 2 of his passes. So 2 of Pacheco's targets and catches came from Minshew. I don't think you can trust Pacheco there. Spears and Wilson, Emmanuel Wilson. I think I would be picking up Emmanuel Wilson out of these guys because I think there's a good chance like the Packers are basically in the playoffs. They do need to win a game in order the Lions to lose, but they need to lose out. Lions need to win out. Jordan Love might not play. I don't know. Do they kind of take this week to get healthy a little bit? I might go for Wilson here.
Yeah, maybe pick up Wilson in case Jacobs is going to miss, and then just start Corum if Jacobs is in.
Yeah, I mean, Wilson would be the one I want to start out of all these guys
even over Corum?
If Jacobs is out, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then I think I would roll with Corum over all these guys if Jacobs is in. Not saying it's right necessarily, but I think that's what I would do. Yeah, it's a tough one. Schultz. Oh, you were just saying.
Yeah. Joe was just telling us who he was trying to pick between.
Conundrum now is that I have Josh Jacobs. Can I trust his knee? Yeah, Higgins and his concussions. Although I think you trust Higgins, and just hope he doesn't get another concussion for his own sake. London his knee. Yeah. Who was it? I think it was the CBS guys, and they were saying London suffered the same thing as Brock Bowers did earlier in the year. And Brock Bowers, it took him several weeks to really do anything after his knee injury.
Yeah.
He was still catching what he could catch, but he wasn't, explosive and stuff. I think I still roll with those guys though. If they're gonna play, you have to start Jacobs, Higgins, London. I don't know how you bench those guys.
Yeah, you just got to go right back to them. I mean, London's shaking off the rust a little bit. Cousins played well, so I think they're playing the Rams, which they're going to have to throw to keep up. So I'm not benching London next week. He could bite you in the ass again, but you already made it here with him, so throw him back out there.
He had 8 targets. He only caught 3 of them. More than likely, he's going to catch 5 or 6 of those. I don't know what kind of yardage he's going to give you. Maybe he gives you 5 or 6 for 50 or 60, and then you kind of hope he catches a touchdown. But I think his floor is going to be pretty good. Michael Wilson, he had a game, but he kind of caught a pretty incredible touchdown catch. That's really all he did. So it's did he have a game? His targets were way down, but I don't think that was necessarily because of Marvin Harrison, though, because Marvin Harrison had 3 targets himself. So, yes, Michael Wilson hasn't had a high target game with Marvin Harrison on the field, but like, I don't know if you can point to this game to say that was just a weird game for the Cardinals. It was Elijah Higgins who went off, their backup tight end.
They get Cincy next week, which we like receivers against Cincy. So, Michael Wilson will be an interesting discussion during this week. Are we gonna do a video tomorrow? Shit, I don't even know if I can actually.
I was planning to go live Wednesday morning.
Okay.
Christmas Eve morning.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we almost need to. There's no Friday game. Okay.
Yeah, but there's three games.
Yeah, Christmas games. That's fine. Like the start sits in those are decently easy, I think.
I think so too. Yeah, but I'm probably gonna go live Wednesday morning and then Saturday, and then Sunday.
Okay.
Paid $43 in a $200 budget auction draft. Bijan Gibbs and Saquon went for $70.
Yeah, you got CMC for 43.
Yeah, that's a crazy bargain there.
That's crazy that Saquon went for 70 along with those other 2 guys. Like maybe he was the third one off the board, but I just know there was a lot of like worry about, the 2,000-yard season kind of a thing, like that whole stigma, and he obviously hasn't exactly returned value there, but it's not like he's been bad.
Yeah.
And he's really come through these last few weeks to like really, if you made it to the playoffs with him, like you're totally stoked to have him, and he gets Buffalo next week. So.
Yeah. I didn't really love the discourse about like, oh yeah, 2,000-yard rushers show an average of like 500-yard drop off. It's like, yeah, they rush for 2,000 yards. So dropping off 500 yards is still rushing for 1,500 yards. Like how they were presenting that, I was just like, I know like the workload and stuff like that, but like Eric Dickerson, his season after rushing for 2,000 yards, he had 1,400 total yards and 12 touchdowns. Like that's not a bad season. Like, of course there's going to be a drop off. Like it's just, when you're literally doing something that like a handful of guys have done in the history of the NFL, yes, there's going to be a drop off and stuff like, now, if you want to make the argument of like usage and them getting hurt and stuff like that, then yeah, I mean, sure, you can talk about that. But I don't know. I didn't love that whole Barry Sanders after his 2,000-yard season, 1,780 total yards, only 4 touchdowns, but almost had 1,800 total yards.
I thought the narrative was a little more geared towards like the injury rate and things like that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it might have been. I just remember like the coming up on the CBS podcast a lot. I'm just like, I don't love that stat of saying like, yeah, on average they drop off by 500 yards per season. It's like, yeah, no shit. Like, but.
And that was in a 14-game season. No.
Schultz or Ferguson next week. Ferguson has the better matchup. I'm probably just going to continue with Schultz though. Chargers are really good against wide receivers. Let's see where they are against tight ends because I don't know where they are. It looks like they're pretty good against tight ends too.
What's Washington?
Washington has given up over the last month about 22 points per game, which is third most. Chargers over the last month about 18. On the season, Commanders are about 16, which is fifth most. Chargers are 11. Which is fifth least.
Yeah, the crazy thing about Ferguson is, like he's going to be number 3 on the team at best. Like he could even be behind Javonte, like even though that hasn't really played it out that way. But the touchdowns just haven't been there for a while. But they always. He would be one of the top 5 guys, I would say, like tight ends that I would say, like, oh, yeah, he has a good chance to get a touchdown just because Cowboys offense and Dak does seem to like look for him. I don't know if that's still been playing out that way. Let's go
For red zone targets, you mean?
targets. Yeah.
Yeah, as you look that up, just looking at Schultz here, like first 2 games of the year kind of sucked, but like since then, he's had like 2 bad games. Well, I guess 3. So like he's been very, very consistent. I think I lean Schultz. I just think he's like more part of that team.
Jake Ferguson is second amongst tight ends, only behind McBride in red zone targets at 21. And then it's Kobe Parkinson, Brock Bowers, that are somewhat close, 19 and 17. And then there's a big drop off after that. So
Is there any way to like you can't see like over the last like week, like 6 weeks or something? Because he hasn't caught a touchdown in 5 weeks. A lot of his touchdown production came in like a 4-week span. Just curious, like recently, what it's been. But
I don't know. My Google foo is not as good as yours.
no, it's fine. I think I don't know. I'm still gonna go Schultz. I think I just think he's more consistent part of that offense. I know
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems to be that way. And especially like without, kind of like a hodgepodge at running back potentially again this week. Like Schultz can easily like keep his role, like he hasn't done anything to show us otherwise.
Yeah. Agreed. Hey, Daniel Barry. Sports highlights. I think it's decently big. What's up, Daniel? I don't know if you are Daniel, but it's interesting YouTube page. It's sports highlights. It's in the title there, but I think they have like over 10K subscribers or something. What's up, Daniel?
He's our second most famous person after Sean Kemp from a year ago.
Might have been 2 years ago.
Yeah, probably.
I think it was last year, Sean Kemp. Yeah, I don't know. How many subscribers does Sean Kemp have on YouTube?
It's true. And I think it was like Sean Kemp 40 or something. So like it was definitely like the 40th one.
Oh no, he wore 40. I remember looking that up.
No, I think that's what it was. Actually, yeah, it was his number. I remember looking that up.
Yeah. Welcome from the UK. It's pretty late over there, huh? Are you waking up?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, gee, it's got to be like 3 a.m.
I have a Olave and Juwan Johnson. Would that be going all in on the Saints? Vele missed. Nah, I'm playing those two. I mean, unless you have a better tight end option, but like, I think those two are in your lineup.
Yeah, Olave is an easy like wide receiver to start. And yeah,
dude, Olave's like he's wide receiver 6 now on the year.
What the fuck? After this week, I know he had a crazy week.
Well, going into the week, I think he was like a top 12 guy. He was just super consistent. Like the guy has 2 games under 10 point, under double-digit PPR points this year.
He's Michael Thomasing that shit, man. 145 targets, 92 catches.
Yeah. He's been really good like since like week 7. 26.5, 23, 19.7, 7.1, 23.2, 21.8, 6.9, 11.1, and then
I feel like he's like another one of our decent hits. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, you're fine. I was actually reading the wrong numbers. Anyway.
Oh, good.
He's been really good.
That's why I interrupted you. No, but I think he was one of our decent hits. We're like, why is he going, like in round 6 or 7? Shit, I did it again.
7. You have to do this, right?
Yeah. Juggle the balls.
No, you're right. You're right. We were like, like Olave. Like someone has to catch passes. I remember Dad.
Yeah, he's the only guy there. Like it's like him and Kamara.
And we weren't. He's obviously exceeded. Like we didn't. In no way were we saying he was going to be a top 10 guy. Even we were like, this is probably like wide receiver 20 this year at worst. At worst.
No, yeah, it is at worst, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that the floor or the ceiling?
So like, yeah, I mean, yeah, he's been awesome. I traded for him in a dynasty league as well, which is awesome. Let's get to a few more of these. Go Chiefs. Sorry about your
Sure.
Chiefs, but I'm so sorry for you. Rams house, sure. Although technically they share it. That's the second time we got that. No.
Yeah,
We're
in
not.
this week.
Yeah, I'm offended.
Yeah, Mike's younger.
Burrito. Wait, what's going on here? We just got
We've
into
had
it.
Burrito Master before.
No, I
Pretty
just saw that y'all twins again. Like it just came in.
Yeah,
So
sure. Why not? Fuck it.
yeah, we're twins. I know it's hard to make. Yeah, we've had Burrito Master on. Hard to make generalization, but would you prioritize backup quarterbacks? Those are the two like positions I want to stash for sure. Like, receivers, they just, backup receivers don't seem to like, oh, number one guy gets hurt, this guy is going to do well now. It doesn't ever seem to work that way. I'd say backup quarterbacks though, like Trey Lance versus LaQuinn Allen.
Yeah, I mean, LaQuint Allen's a little bit different, right? Because he's third on the chart behind Tootin, even when everyone's healthy. So,
yeah.
I mean, the nice thing about stashing those guys is you can, in theory, it doesn't always work this way, but you can flip them for something of value.
Yeah.
Easier said than done sometimes. I know that's been a big discussion in a couple of the listener leagues, like where it looked like Jacobs was going to miss, not this week we just got done with, but the one before. And, it was basically like there was a discussion about like, well, yeah, I'll flip them to you for a second round pick, like basically any second. And some people thought that was too much, and it was like over or like inflating the price kind of a thing. But it's kind of the cost of doing business, like similar with backup quarterbacks, especially if you think it's going to be a short-term injury. It's like, yeah, they're probably worth at least 2/3, and then that can end up being a big win for either side. Like look at what Mac Jones for Brock Purdy was this year. Like those 1 week injuries can turn into, half the season, half the fantasy season, like real quick.
I mean, yeah, Mac Jones to begin the year. I mean, Jacoby Brissett has like carried people.
Yeah.
Since the second half of the season,
Davis Mills for 3 or 4 games. Like you probably weren't starting him until the third game, and only out of desperation. But I mean, you might have been starting him in his first game because he had no one else, and he played well. It doesn't always work though, obviously. Like you had plenty of Jake Browning shit in the bed, which is really interesting too, because he was actually pretty good last time he had to step in for Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, like with quarterbacks in general, like if they're going to be starting, that there's a good chance they're going to be in your lineup in Superflex leagues, because even the shitty ones, like Carson Wentz this year averaged 15.1 points per game. Joe Flacco averaged 14 points a game. I know that's a little bit. He like came into a couple games, so he's even more than that. Like Davis Mills 13.4. So like Davis Mills is equal to pulling up PPR here. Davis Mills is equal to Kenneth Gainwell, RB21 this year. Like, like these guys are going to have a lot of value. So I tend to say quarterbacks. I mean, Trey Lance is a tough one because we just don't know. Like he hasn't really gotten a shot, but also he's just been, kind of. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with him or not. So I tend to lean the quarterbacks, I guess, over a 7th round rookie running back or 6th round. I forget where he went. So
yeah, it can be a little tough to flip them because everyone wants to get them for cheap though too.
Quarterbacks.
Yeah, the quarterbacks. Like, yeah. I mean, at worst, you're keeping them away from the teams that really need them.
Yeah.
Some people are willing to pay up. I remember when Daniel Jones got the starting job in for the Colts, and I told my brother-in-law, I was like, oh, like, because he had Anthony Richardson, and I was like, oh, like, I think we were like 2 weeks in, and I was like, I was thinking about like offering you Daniel Jones for a second, or for a second round pick before the season started, and I wasn't even like offering him that at the time because I think he had already played decently, and like his immediate reaction was like, oh, I wouldn't give you a second for Daniel Jones, and it's like, okay, like, don't, like, I don't really give a shit. But these guys can lose value, obviously, like super quick too. And it turns out I didn't even have Daniel Jones in that league, so it was kind of a mute point anyways. And then you ended up trading him to him for basically a first and a second, like a few weeks later.
Yeah, it's there's a lot more LaQuint Allens on the waiver wire as well than there are these backup quarterbacks too. So I personally think like every backup quarterback in Superflex basically should be rostered if possible. Even like Jarrett Stidham, who's the backup to Bo Nix, he's out there on every waiver wire. Probably should just be rostered because if he comes in, he's probably going to be decent. He's going to be start worthy in Superflex league. If you're, most people don't have more than 3 quarterbacks in Superflex leagues, and a lot of teams don't even have 3. So, I think, but I do agree. Like, people don't like trading for backup quarterbacks. Like even when they take over as the starter.
Yeah, I was going to say this week is a little different though because Bo Nix is healthy and he's not worth anything essentially. Like, then he's going to just take up a roster spot, all off season. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just because it's the last week, it's a little unique right now, but in general, like everything you said is true.
And another thing I'll say, and this is very specific, by the way, Stidham is under contract with the Broncos next year too, so he could be the backup. And he's come in a couple times and played well. So we'll finish up on this and then we'll get to these questions here. Tyler, I see yours. Braden, Jeff. This year in particular, we did have some news on another quarterback declaring or going back to school, not declaring for the draft, not one of the top guys. So, there's that. But the 3 top guys in this draft who can be first round picks could all go back to school. And that's going to really hurt this quarterback class a lot. And so I am stashing, like, I'm not cutting Joe Flacco. I'm not cutting Jacoby Brissett. These guys could have jobs next year.
Jones.
So Mac Jones for sure. I mean, Zach Wilson is another one, even though they decided to start Quinn Ewers over him. So, yeah, that's the last thing here. But
yeah, and just to finish up about the quarterback thing, like I lost in our listener league Poseidon. In like week 3 or 4, I had 7 starting quarterbacks, like just because of injuries and just stashes and everything. Couldn't do a whole lot with them. Everyone wanted them for like 2 years from now, a 3rd round pick, or they were kind of just like, oh, I've got another guy for this week. Bye weeks weren't there yet. So wasn't necessarily good timing. I ended up basically only having 1 going into last week, I think, in the first week of the playoffs. And someone offered me Aaron Rodgers for Mac Jones. I was like, shit, I have to take that because I need the quarterback, but I kind of wanted Mac Jones, like, yeah. But, so like, obviously, like I even would have threw in that 3rd if they had asked for it, they should have pushed me a little, but yeah, these guys do have value for sure.
Yeah. Trone, would you pick up Tyler Shuck? So basically Shuck over Bo Nix this week. I don't hate it. Only because I do think that game for Bo Nix, it could just be, starters are out at halftime type of game. So I don't hate it. I pick up Shuck. I would say pick up Shuck if you can. And like this is something I feel like I would think about over the next couple of days. But at least pick him up, on tomorrow's waivers, and just to have the option, I think, because there's a chance I might do that.
Does
Who the Saints getting him?
the double stack not make it a little easier? Or you don't really care about that too much? Well, because he's got Olave and Johnson. Yeah. So, I mean, you're really like shooting for the fences, like you're putting everything on the Saints, essentially. Not everything, but given like where you probably like got these guys like waiver wire / 7th round or later. So you could have a pretty good team, and that could really be like the home run hit.
Yeah, I mean, against the Titans and stuff. Yeah, I mean, but it also could scare you away from it to not, like you said, invest too much into them. I don't know. I that's one I'd think about potentially doing over Knicks. I feel like I might, if I had to make a decision right now, I think I would lean Knicks, but I would want to think about it. So, DeVonta Smith or Pierce or Downs? They got a lot of targets, Pierce and Downs, right? It could be Riley Leonard next week. The Colts are basically out of it at this point. It might not be Rivers. I don't know if that's better or worse, to be honest. I think I just go DeVonta Smith still.
Yeah, I'm still going to start Smith. I get like I get the appeal, I guess. Alec Pierce is like very big play dependent, and I feel like he almost had another one tonight. No, he was 4 for 4 actually. But I mean, even last week, 1 for 16. Rivers' first game, so I mean, there's no real trend you can put into that. But I think I'm just going to start the guy in the better offense.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on, but again, a lot of the twin stuff. Yes, we are. I like Taco Bell, sure. Evans, Jefferson, Terry, or Marks for the championship. I mean, we're taking Marks out of there.
Yeah, throw away Marks. I think Evans is easy.
Well, I'll say this: Evans, Jefferson for me, especially if Mariota is out. Mariota is not playing.
What if McCarthy's out?
I'd probably still go Jefferson.
Is Carson Wentz healthy again? No.
That's Brosmer. I think Wentz.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Wentz was like playing with like a broken shoulder or something.
Yeah, that's right. That's just because I was looking at the depth chart and he was second. So I'm like, what the fuck happened there?
I don't know what. Like there's been a lot of quarterbacks just like Gardner Minshew played like 2 drives on a torn ACL. Like Rivers and Rodgers playing on broken wrists. Like what's going on? Wentz playing with one shoulder. Like kind of weird. Like I don't know if it's the medical staff fucking up or like these quarterbacks being like, I'm gonna play. I think I'm Evans Jefferson. Now I will pivot to Terry if Mariota is in and McCarthy's out. If they're both out, Mariota and McCarthy, I'm going to stay with Jefferson and Evans. And if both the quarterbacks are in, I think I go Evans Jefferson still.
If McCarthy's in.
If McCarthy and Mariota are in.
Yeah.
So if they're both out, so it's Evans. And the only way I pivot from Jefferson to Terry is if Brosmer is in and Mariota is in, I think.
And shit. I mean, Commanders are the first game of Christmas, and the Vikings are the second game.
I know.
Tough. I don't know. Just keep an eye on that. Those practice reports, like it was probably just a walkthrough today, but DMP for Mr. McCarthy, same for Mariota. So
yeah,
they're even saying Mariota is unlikely to play, but still questionable.
We do not have Souls. No. Parkinson, Strange, or Juwan Johnson.
No, yeah. Wait a second. Go back to that last one. Of course, we have Souls, right? Like,
no, we don't have
from
Souls.
all the ones that we steal from the children.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Alter Ego. He's definitely not here. I like the idea, like you brought that up, of like channel surfing on YouTube, and I was thinking about it like a couple of days, like the same day or whatever. I was like, yeah, I mean, if I had the opportunity to like when I was a kid to like watch TV and like communicate with the people on the show, I would just like communicate with anyone, whether it was like something I was interested or not, like someone selling fucking pots and pans or something. I if I could send a message to them, I would do that.
Yeah.
So,
hey, dude, the slap chop sucks. Put my nuts in it.
Right.
LOL. 6-7.
Suck it.
I'm an asshole.
Where are you going here? I think I lean Juwan Johnson, but I think it's very close with all three. But I think it's close more with like Strange and Juwan Johnson, like in terms of more safety.
Are we completely throwing away Colby Parkinson?
No,
even if Adams misses.
No, like Parkinson could easily have the best game, but I also like, we saw, I think the floor is way better with Strange and Juwan Johnson.
Yep. That's kind of what it comes down to. And the touchdown upside could be similar, I guess. Like, it would probably be Parkinson, Strange, Juwan, if I had to like pick or put them in order, like as far as like who's most likely to get a touchdown. But I think it's all close enough to where you can kind of throw that out.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to go with Strange, man. Like, fucking Trevor Lawrence doing it again.
Yeah, he's been awesome. Doesn't it feel like Strange has the least amount of upside, though? I kind of feel that way.
I don't know. 5 for
like
39 and a touchdown. I'm just looking at this last game. Yeah, I mean,
basically the same as Juwan Johnson without a touchdown. Or I think Juwan Johnson was even a little better. 8 for 90.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you can't just look at one, right?
No,
yeah.
But I feel like what's Strange's best game this year? Did he have? I know he didn't really.
Strange only has 2 touchdowns. I thought he was like a little bit more involved than that.
I remember him not having one for a while. So his best game is what, 5 for 93. I don't know. I just feel like Juwan Johnson or Parkinson have a little bit more upside. I think I'd go Juwan personally.
Yeah, so, I don't mind it. If I had to pick, I probably would start Juwan because the floor is probably safest with him.
Yeah. All right, let's get through these. Pearson Downs had a lot of targets. Okay, yeah, we answered that one. I think we're still going Devonta Smith. Quentin Johnston or Devonta Smith? I'm still going Devonta Smith.
Yep.
Especially against Houston for the Chargers. Do you like New Orleans this week? Defense we're talking about. Giants and Rams. Out of those three, I think I'd go Rams. I think Rams defense, I don't know why they're like so much like all over the waiver wire, but like they're like a top 5 defense in fantasy this year. So
yeah, I think it's because of the last 2 weeks, Detroit and then Seattle. So they were dropped. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Rams. I just think they're the best defense, and I'm not afraid of their matchup too much.
So, yeah, Atlanta, that's fine. The Tennessee offense made fools of who was it? Cleveland a couple of weeks ago. What did San Fran do against them?
Kansas City.
Yeah, well, Kansas City, that definitely didn't work out. And then
I think
they put up 24 on the Niners. So yeah. Seattle might not be Tennessee might not be the super easy target anymore for defense. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Rams.
Drafted Neighbors, Kamara, Ridley, Judy,
What
Montgomery,
the fuck?
Njoku.
How's that possible? You must
Yeah,
be all over the waiver wire, man. Like, how many of those guys would you actually start this week? Well, none of them, right? Montgomery's the best one because he's the only one playing, basically, besides
Montgomery or
Cup.
Cup.
Yeah, that's crazy. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job, Mr. Least.
Good job, unless you're lying, and then shame on you.
Yeah, you're Mr. Most 18 to me.
Strange or Schultz or Barnard. I did like. I think I'm going Schultz here, but I kind of liked Barner as like a dart throw last week, and it hit. But just because he played like 95% of the snaps, so. But yeah. We answered this one.
You skipped Gonzo Engineering 805
for first. Yeah,
I like how he fucked it up at first with no team.
And then someone commented before him, so it's like you're like an hour into the stream, and you definitely weren't first, and then you screwed up, and then someone commented before you.
That's my buddy Kevin.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's funny though how it played out that way.
Yeah.
And I like that it's still a thing to say first on the video.
Oh, we were talking about that last night. That's why. So.
Okay. Well, you made us laugh, so thank you. I see a lot of trades, but how did you trade those guys, Mr. Least? None of those guys. I mean, I guess Neighbors early on, but you probably weren't thinking about trade unless you're talking about dynasty. Then we're in a different category here, I guess. But in redraft, none of those guys were good except for Neighbors. But then you probably didn't want to trade him until he got hurt. And in redraft, he has no value once he got hurt. Yeah, but we answered that one. I don't know what Lawrence Meadows is talking about. So, but we're gonna take off. Real quick update: the Raiders and Giants are tied at 2-13. Giants technically been worse because they've had the easier schedule, so they have the number one pick. But fun fact: those two teams play each other next week. So loser of that game gets the number one pick most likely. Chargers have a chance for the number one seed still, believe it or not, and they hold their own. They control their own destiny to win the AFC West. So screw the Broncos.
They got to beat Houston and then the Broncos.
Yep, they got to win out.
That's a tough last two matchups.
Yeah, but what's funny is if you go back and you were looking at the Chargers schedule after the Raiders, it was they were sitting there at 8-4. They beat the Raiders, sitting there at 8-4, and you're like, God, they got to play the Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Texans, Broncos. Well, they beat the Eagles, Chiefs, and Cowboys. So, I don't know. I think they beat the Texans, and then who knows what happens. That Broncos-Chargers game will probably be a Sunday night game if they do win. So, anyways, guys, we'll be back Christmas Eve in the morning sometime, early afternoon for East Coast. So, Bo Soxer, I think the biggest sneaky one is Raheem Rocket Sanders for redraft. Or maybe Dynasty too. He could be a sneaky one for sure. He was the first rookie to score a touchdown this year, by the way. Appreciate that.
Merry Christmas, buddy.
Yeah, Merry Christmas if we don't see you, and good luck in the toilet bowl as well. Get that comp pick. And we'll be back Christmas Eve, guys. So appreciate you all, and yeah, you made me click on you. I didn't even mean to, Lawrence Meadows. Something wrong going there, but appreciate you, and see you guys Christmas Eve.